Hi folks, how you doing? I'm Ross Minton. This is Growing Life. Please like and subscribe. That would be amazing. So, you've now built your chicken coop, or you've bought your chicken coop. You've sorted out your enclosure. You've decided where it's going to go in your garden. And then you've decided what chicken you're going to get. And now you have to think about, what do chickens eat? Yes, what do chickens eat? Do you know? Answer in the comments below. Go on. And I give you 30 seconds or so to tell me what you think chickens eat. Okay, no cheating, all right? Tell you why, okay? Because I made this mistake when I first started. So God's honest truth. So I got my chicken coop, everything all sorted, thought I knew exactly what I was doing. And then I was in the garden one morning, this is when I had my chickens at home, and I decided that as I was there eating my porridge, I got a bit of porridge left over. I'm going to give a chicken some porridge. It's oats, it's all good. Flicked it out into the chicken coop. Everything was great. Next thing I know, I hear this strange noise, and one of the chickens that had eaten it just keeled over and died. And it turns out that you shouldn't give chickens porridge because it's all gloopy and horrible, because it sticks in their crawl thing, and basically this chicken choked. Now this was a long time ago, so I shouldn't laugh. Okay, but it was a long time ago, and it's not funny. It's not funny, obviously, for the chicken. It's funny for me being an absolute idiot, okay, for not checking these sort of things. But I didn't know this. I didn't realise that chickens don't eat like us. I just thought, you know, they're omnivores. They eat worms. They eat vegetables. Everything's good, right? No, it's not. They have a crop, and then when they eat, that has to go in with stones and other things they pick up, and it chews it for them, because obviously chickens don't have teeth. You need to give chickens a mixture of either corn, chicken corn, or any corn. I don't mean sweet corn, I mean grain corn. You can get layers pellets. Layers pellets are about £8 for a 25 kg bag, and they've got everything in it a chicken's needs. You've also got corn. Some people just feed their chickens on corn and other stuff. Corn's fine, nothing wrong with it, but they need a little bit more stuff to go with it if they're not completely free range, because obviously free range, they'll pick up grass and worms and everything else that they get throughout the day. If your chickens are enclosed, layers pellets are probably better, because they're designed for chickens to put on weight through the nutrients and stuff, and obviously corn is probably not quite enough if they're enclosed. If they're free ranged, corn probably will be fine on their own. They'll get enough nutrients from everything else. I tend to mix it, to be fair. I tend to get a bag of corn, which is about £6 for 25 kg, and I get a bag of layers pellets, and I mix them together 50-50, give that to my chickens. They're happy as Larry, and that's what I've always done, and as you can see, they seem happy and healthy. On top of that, I give them greens. So down the allotment, I just grow lettuce just for the chickens. My lettuce at home is for me, lettuce down here is for the chickens. There's other things I give them. They love dock leaves, so I give them dock leaves. I give them cabbage leaves. Don't give them too much cabbage leaves and things like that, because oddly it can make the eggs taste a bit cabbagey. So I just tend to give them a few cabbage leaves twice a week. Chickens like to forage, so if you can, even down the allotment, even though my birds are in most of the time in their enclosure, they like to forage. As you can see them destroying that dock leaf down there in the corner. They know what they're going to eat, they know what they can eat, and they're quite happy to go and root around. And I know today they will probably get most of their food out the ground. They won't need many pellets today. They will eat those docks. They will. You can see there's a spider just ran across the bin and he got eaten. Anything they find, they will eat, and they absolutely love finding their own food. So if you can let them out, it's awesome. But be warned, a chicken doesn't know what's a vegetable and what's your prize ornate cabbage. So if you've got a flower garden and you've got chickens, you no longer have a flower garden. They will eat everything, and they will dig, and they will scrat, and they will put holes in everything, looking for worms and looking for grubs and looking for spiders. And you might want to keep them away from your flowers. Isn't that right, girls? Now this is where we get into the rules of chicken keeping, and there is a few rules. You cannot, must not, it's a big fat no to giving your chickens human food. Okay, again, I didn't know this when I gave my chicken porridge, but you are not supposed to do it, and there's a reason you're not supposed to do it, And there's some people out there, they're probably non-mask wearing anti-vaxxers that go, oh, I don't do things that governments tell me to do. The reason you're not supposed to do it is because you can transfer disease. And this is how things like foot and mouth happen. So if you give your chickens food that's come out of a kitchen in the UK and you're a meat eater, you are not allowed to do that, because you can contaminate your flock, you can contaminate your eggs, and it has been scientifically proven that there is a 37% increase in salmonella in eggs if your chickens have eaten kitchen scraps. 37% increase. Yes. You can Google that one for yourself. Okay? So there is an increased risk from getting salmonella poisoning if you give your chickens scraps from the kitchen. There's one exception to this. If you are a fully vegan household, you're allowed to do it. Okay? Because obviously in your kitchen is nothing but vegetables. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So these are my lovely veggies that I've harvested today. Isn't that right, girlie? Now, if I want to rip some of this off and give it to my chicken, which you'll completely ignore and make a liar of me. You normally love cabbage. If I want to do that, that is perfectly fine, because I am down my allotment and none of those vegetables have seen a kitchen. Okay? So, when you want to take your leaves off and this, that and the other, you can take them off. You can throw them to the chickens. You can give the chickens the tomatoes. That's fine. As soon as that enters my household, that is not chicken edible anymore in the eyes of the law. Okay? Disagree with it all you want. It's the law, and there's a damn good reason for it. So I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of it, and I don't really care if you don't agree with it. That is the law. That's what it is. Right? And I would rather not risk my kids having an increased chance of getting salmonella. What you can do, if you really want to, is grow your greens for your chickens, or go to the fruit and veg person and get yourself some fruit and veg that you know has not been through a kitchen or has been anywhere near meat. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was a bad thing to get it from a supermarket either, because you know when you buy a cabbage from a supermarket, it's come from the cabbage farm, it's been put on a trolley, it's been put in the supermarket, it'll be all good. But technically, if you then take that into your house and into your kitchen, you're not allowed. So feel free, buy yourself some cabbages, some lettuces, things like that that chickens like to eat, and put them in the shed. You know, put them away from the kitchen, away from meat, anything like that, and then your chickens can have that as their greens, their treat, whatever you want to call it, on top of their food. But, and there's another but, you don't cut it up. As I said before, chickens don't have teeth. Okay, so if you cut up food, the chickens wolf it all down, and it can get stuck in their crop, and it can actually, like, almost compost, rots down, and it can give them a thing called sour crop, and it can make them poorly, basically. If you watch the chickens, go on chicken, get a leaf, get a leaf, one of you get a leaf, one of you get a leaf, there you are. Did you see what he did? They like to tear. So they grab hold of something and they tear it off, and that is how they chew. So if you cut your vegetables up small when you give it to the chickens, it's no good. You need to leave them big so they can literally grab hold of it and pull it off themselves. So if anything, if you do buy your chickens a lettuce, just throw the whole lettuce in as it is. Don't cut it, or cut it in half and give them half a lettuce. But don't shred it up like you would for a human or for a rabbit or anything else. Chickens need to be able to rip it off. That's how they eat. That's because they've got no teeth, and that's how they get food for the size they want it. If you're new to chicken keeping and you've had your chickens now for a while and you've got everything sorted and you've been feeding them corn and layers pellets and the occasional lettuce every few days and this, that and the other, you might think to yourself, I want to give my chickens a treat. I give my dog a treat, and I'd like to give my chickens a treat. So if you want to give your chickens a treat, I think that's perfectly acceptable. Nothing wrong with that at all. I give my chickens treats. They normally have things like tomatoes and radishes. No, they don't have radishes, Ross. They have tomatoes and raspberries and other things that are grown down the allotment, and they love tomatoes. Okay, girls, now don't make lies of me. We know how much you like tomatoes, don't you? You all like tomatoes. Do you like tomatoes? Now normally one of these grabs the tomato and runs away. Now I'm just going to take a bite out of it so they can get hold of it. There we go. Ready, steady, go! There, she's off, she's off. She's going for the try line. Oh, she's been intercepted. She's still going. Oh, it's tackled. Well defended there, chicken, well defended. She's making a beeline. She switches out to the wing. She's coming back on herself. And it's gone! Touchdown, chicken! But you might go online, and you might go on somewhere like Amazon, or you might go to a pet shop. And I've seen this in pet shops. And they have things like mealworms, and they have bird seeds, and they have all these weird and wonderful things that you can give to your chickens, and they look really good. Don't do it! Didn't see that one coming, did you? No, don't do it. The reason is, you're not supposed to, and there's a bloody good reason why you're not supposed to. And once I tell you it, you'll go, ugh. Guarantee, here it comes. Thing is with mealworms, a lot of them in this country are imported. And they're imported from places like China. There's a great many mealworms are made in China and Asia for the bird food market, because you can feed them to robins and other things, and they're really good. And obviously in this country we like to spend money looking after nature and things like that, and obviously companies have cottoned onto it, so they start to grow mealworms. It's been shown that some mealworms are grown in human waste. Yeah, they use basically sewerage to help grow mealworms and other grubs and bugs and stuff that they put into wild bird food. Think about that. You can't give your chickens stuff at your kitchen because of an increased risk of salmonella, okay? And then you're going to go to a pet shop, buy mealworms that have been grown in human poo, and you're going to feed them to your chickens, and then you're going to feed those eggs to your kids and your family, or eat them yourself. Don't do it, please don't do it. Like the amount of people I've told this to, and they just go, I think it'll be alright. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure smoking 80 fags a day will be alright. And for some people it kills them. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't be one of those people that goes, well, I don't care what other people say. I think it's really good and my chickens really like it. And it's just like, no, don't bloody do it. Don't do it. You don't do these things for a reason. Do you really want to be eating human shit eggs? No. No. I know I don't want to be eating human poo eggs. By all means, get your chickens treats, but not from pet shops. And please check. The best thing you can do, honestly, I found with my chickens, if you want to give them a treat, get them some strawberries, get them some tomatoes, get them something like that, get them straight from the greengrocers, take them straight out to them so they haven't been through your kitchen, give them. They absolutely love it. Once a week, that'll be amazing, absolutely grand. They will thank you forever. And to be fair, they love most fruits, really. My chickens don't seem too fussed on apples. I don't know why. I chuck the odd apple in there that comes off the tree. They peck it for a bit and leave it. But tomatoes, they love tomatoes. Absolutely love them.